coming to the Dominican Republic, or have you had thoughts about coming to the Dominican Republic to live? Are you a retiree, or do you just want to come here long term? Have you noticed anything that has changed over the last 2 years? If you've been a returning resident to the DR or a retiree, well, in this video, I will tell you what I found has really had me baffled since I've been here in 2018. Here are 3 things that I've found since I've been in DR that has really skyrocketed. Number 1, it's rent. It is crazy. I mean, I'm telling you, I have been here on and off since 2018, and I have lived here, literally lived here. Well, I've lived here since 2018, but I went back and forth. Now, I've lived here for the last year and a half, and I was here for a full year during the pandemic, so I think I know what I'm talking about. I have noticed a change in the price of rent. The housing market is going crazy over here. I live in Puerto Plata, and when I first came here in 2018, I got a fully furnished apartment in Playa Alicia, which is in Sosua, nice little area, for $380. 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, fully furnished with a pool. Now, that same apartment, because I did check, that same apartment is $480, which is still reasonable. But if you don't really know where to go or how to bargain, you are going to pay really high rents. Now, we had a situation here where I live, and we wanted to move. Someone broke into one of the apartments here, but we found out that it was related to a certain tenant and her stuff that she was doing and the people that was coming to visit her, and let's say it was an inside job, right? And at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they broke into my friend who lived here, practically took her door off the hinge. She was in the apartment, and it was very traumatic. She was very traumatized and moved out. She got an apartment and moved out in a week, right? We decided we didn't really want to, not that we didn't like living here, but I liked my apartment, but we just did not like what happened, and we didn't like the people that was coming to visit this particular person, who, by the way, is no longer here. She got kicked out. She got kicked out for a lot of things. So anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. So anyway, we started looking. And let me tell you, what we found out there was just crazy to me. Mainly because I know what the rents were. I just found it very hard to pay more than that. It was just crazy. It was just like, what are they talking about? Like, are we living in some sort of alternate universe? I'm in Puerto Plata. We just got a little mall. Well, it's not that small. It's called the Sadaki Mall. So if you want to shop, you have to order online. I order almost everything from Amazon. At one time, I used to go back and forth to the States and bring my stuff, or you go to Santiago or Santo Domingo. So now that we have a little mall, which is not fully stocked yet, I think there's only a few retailers in there right now. So we're still waiting to see what else is going to be in there. But you have to know Puerto Plata to know that infrastructure is limited. There's one movie theater in Playa Dorada, which is a gated community, but you can still go. I wouldn't even go there. The movies are crap. You get better movies on Netflix. And restaurants, it's mostly restaurants. Some nice, I wouldn't say real high end, but yeah, you have to you can find them, you have to search. And then the roads are kind of shitty. There's no highways. There's one main road that goes, from, I guess it's north to south or east to west. I don't know. But it's not comparable to places like Santo Domingo or Punta Cana, right? There's nothing really here to do. There's no entertainment. There's not, if you're, okay, how can I put it? I have a friend who lives here. He has an apartment right upstairs, and he also lives in New York. And he said to me, when we talked about the same thing, he said, I live in the city, in New York City. When I come here to get away from the city. So I don't want to come here and live in a big city. He said he loves the ambience. It's like you can go from right here, go up the hill, you're in like the country. You go a little bit over, you're in the woods. So it's like you can make it what you want. You can find what you want. You can find your little piece of paradise. Let's put it that way. If you're a guy, you want to go to Sosua, it's the men's paradise. I don't know if it still is. I don't think so. And then you have Cabarete, which is the kite surf capital, they call it. And if you're into kite surfing, you can go there. It's a strip. It has really nice houses, apartments. It's really developing. It's exploding. But guess what? The road is still this tiny, okay? So, and it's just literally one strip. And after that, you're in Sabaneta. You're in the country, right? So there's not a lot. I found that after being here for so many years, I need a little bit more. And because I haven't traveled out of the country for so many months, it's like Dominican, no, I wouldn't say Dominican Republic. I would say Puerto Plata fatigue. Let's put it that way. So every couple of weeks, we get our little bags together and we'll go to Punta Cana, or we try to hit a different part of the island, right? And it breaks the monotony. So one thing with living here, it has definitely helped me focus on what I'm doing now, which is my running my own business, being a content creator. I have my own little thing on the side, and I haven't been back to the States, but I still hold a nursing license, and I am not so focused now on nursing as I am on crafting my own little piece of entrepreneurship here. So it has forced me to stay focused, which I appreciate. So I have to keep reeling myself back in. But back to the topic. So the prices, the rents are crazy. Like we were looking at 2 bedrooms because we have a 3 and we're like, we don't even use that 3rd bedroom. So let's get a smaller place. The 2 bedrooms were more than what we have here. And here we have 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms with a back patio, front patio, a pool, and it's in a nice area, right? So we were looking, and we saw 1 bedrooms that were like more than what we pay here, with nothing, no pool, no nothing. It's just like they've gone crazy. You have landlords that are asking for dollars. They don't want pesos. They want their rent in dollars. My son lives here, and he had to ask me the landlord once sent to him to his bank account in US dollars. Isn't this DR? Isn't the currency pesos? Last I heard. I don't know what's going on. So it's, to me, just out of control. So they've built some high rises on the Malecon, which is like a long street that overlooks the ocean, right? And it's beautiful. So far, what I'm seeing is really nice. And from what I'm hearing, the prices are like a 2 bedroom is like $1,200 or something like that. But I met somebody that he's actually from the States, and he was saying he was going to move because he knew he wasn't going to get his security back, which, by the way, that's another thing we'll talk about. There were so many things that were wrong in the apartment and that it wasn't getting fixed. So he was going to move out, and since he wasn't going to get his security back, he was going to use it as a Airbnb. So until his lease ran out, right? And that's another thing that I want to talk about now. In this whole rental market, they're asking for 3 ways: first, last, and security. When I first came here, it was 1 month's rent and 1 month's security. Now it's first, last, and security. That used to be a U.S. thing. Now it's a DR thing, right? So what they tell you when you do that, though, is a lot of times they won't give you back that security because they don't have it. They use it. It is not in an interest-bearing account, nothing like that. They use it. So most of the time, if you give notice, then you try to live out your security, right? But, they're just adapting a lot of policies from the other first world countries that made this place special. It made this place affordable, especially to people who were retiring, who were living on a fixed income. It made it desirable, because when you start looking at places to live, for retirees or expats, a lot of people go to places where it's inexpensive compared to the country that they're coming from. And we all know what's going on in the US economy. So a lot of people are trying to escape, right? But if you're escaping, and I know it's still less, but if you're escaping and you're coming here and you're finding prices that are comparable to the US, what's the sense, right? So, and then I had another friend who was looking for an apartment. She was actually moving to Santo Domingo. She had been here before, went back to the States for a few years, came back, but now she opened a business, so she had to be in Santo Domingo where her business was. She could not find a place. She was looking for a place for about 5 months. It was impossible. The prices, it's crazy. Some people wanted 6 months upfront rent, and that's another thing. They're asking for rents 6 months. You know, when one of the apartment I was in before I came here, the landlord said, okay, let's make a deal. He lived in Spain. His father took care of the building. It was a brand new building. If he would knock off $250 off the security if we signed a 1-year lease. And I'm like, no, I'm not selling my soul. I don't know what's going to happen in a year. I don't know if I'm going to like this place in a year. I said, I'm doing 6 months and I'll give you the 3 ways. I don't care. Which I did. Thank God I did, because you know what? We had filtration real bad, to the point where I have it on my channel. If you look at some of my videos from last year, we ended up sleeping in the living room on an open out couch because we could no longer sleep in our bedroom. The filtration was so bad, I had water coming into me on my bed when I was sleeping. So we were being squeezed out of our bedroom, our master bedroom, and then the other bedroom had, you know, my camera equipment and everything. So I slept, and Ricardo slept in the living room for about 3 months. And they kept fixing and doing what they were doing, but the problem is they never got it fixed. So what happened, we just told them that's it, and we got a place and we moved. But it was really bad. I threw away a lot of clothes, I had mold. It was just really bad. So when it came time to get the money back, we just had to, they gave us some, but some they kept for whatever reason. At that point, I didn't care, I just wanted to get the hell out. They were nice people, but the problem was they did not seal the building. They didn't seal it. There's some special coating, some kind of sealant they're supposed to use before they paint, and then they're supposed to put something else to seal it, and then they paint, and they skipped one step. And I guess, well, the son, the owner, he was really pissed at the father because the father was holding on to the budget and, you know, didn't want to pay for that because he had control of the money. So they were cutting a lot of corners, and they do that here a lot. They cut a lot of corners, and then you suffer when you move in as a tenant, and then you're inconvenienced. Then you have to move. It's just never ended. We moved in here, and we moved in here when they were still building. The landlady actually hurried up and finished the first floor so we could move in, and they were still building around us, right? But we were really grateful that she accommodated us. So I just want to say that, you know, things have changed, and I think the landlords have gotten pretty greedy. And yeah, some expat foreigners might say, well, it's still cheaper than where I live, and you know, but that's not the point. It's not a matter of it being still cheaper than where you live. It's about the principle, and I go a lot according to principle. And they'll tell you, okay, well, don't worry, move in and we'll take care of it afterwards. Never do that, because you know what? They never will. And I have a friend that's moving out right now of an apartment and she moved in there just before we moved here. She's already moving in because I told her, make sure you get it done before you move. And she said, no, they said they're going to take care of it. Guess what? They never did. So that same issue that they never did, what they were supposed to do, is the reason why she's moving out. So I'm just saying this to say that there's a lot of pros living here. But I just want to be transparent, and I want to let you know that there's also a lot of cons. And if you're moving here, I want you to be aware of the cons as well as the pro, because nowhere is without fault. Nowhere, no country, no person. And a lot of people just make it seem like it's just beautiful here and it's paradise and everything is wonderful. No, there's issues here just like anywhere else, right? And I want to make you aware of the issues. So if you're planning on coming here, you're renting an apartment, you're looking for an apartment, you know what to ask, what questions to ask. Ask about filtration. Ask about, if there's anything that you see that's out of place. And another thing, it's always a good rule to go to that place, hopefully if it's on a day where it's raining. Then you'll see if it's flooding. Yes, some places flood. And oh my God, I've seen it, right? Even this apartment here, I'm on the first floor, and the drain wasn't cleaned out properly on the patio, and it filled up and it seeped into my living room, and my furniture was halfway underwater. Thank God it wasn't ruined. But that was because you have to keep going out there, cleaning out the little drain. When we showed the landlord, she said when they were building, she told the builder that it should have 2 drains. They only put 1. Another building flaw again, So it's a lot of, if you're not there to watch, if you're a builder and you're not there to watch, constantly watch and supervise, you don't know what they're doing with, they're not following the plan. They're trying to cut corners so they can finish, get their money, and move on, right? So yeah, the prices have gone through the roof, not only in rental, but in sales. Like I said, I'm over here in Dominican Republic in Puerto Plata. I go to Sosua, I drive through Sosua, I go to Cabarete, I go up to Sabaneta. It's crazy. The buildings that I see, I'm like, why would I pay $500,000 for a house in the middle of a town? Yes, it's a gated community. Yes, it's nice, but why would I pay that? It's DR. The prices are just through the roof. And the funny thing about it, you're not getting a lot. You might get a nice house, but around you, when you come out of your gated community, you have to deal with roads that are this small, cows that are crossing the street. You gotta watch out for the cow that might cross the street in front of you. Motor conscious zipping in and out. Well, that's all over the island. When it rains, your piece of paradise might flood up real high that people have to evacuate. Thank God it hasn't happened over here. We're on a hill. But there's so many things. I just don't think that it's the price. The price is worth it. I just don't see the value over here. I mean, there's beautiful places here. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think those places that those people have, they're homes that have been lived in for years. People bought them when they were normal, real prices. This is abnormal prices here, and it's because there's been such an influx of gringos, as they call it, that have come in because everybody's trying to run away from the West, and they come over here and they're like, oh my God, it's so much cheaper than where I'm coming from. Oh, it's beautiful. And they plop the money down. But yeah, right on the corner there's a house here. It's had a for sale sign on it since I moved here, and it's 9 months. Nobody's trying to buy it. The guy lives in Bermuda. He wants, I think, 300 and something thousand for it. I met a lady that was living in there. She moved out because it had so many issues and he didn't want to fix anything. But he refuses to come down on the price because he thinks because of inflation, he's going to get some gringo that's going to come here and buy it. It's just absolutely crazy. So it's been sitting there empty for a year because apparently he left just before. So it's just madness to me, the prices that they want. So yeah, be aware of that when you come. And if you are planning on coming, if you still want to experience a bit of paradise, and I'm not saying it's all bad, you can reach out to me. I'm available. You can reach out to me for a free consult. Link is down below in the description. Also, I have a free checklist that is interactive, and you can check off, just go through it and see where you are in your moving journey, or your sabbatical, or your long-term vacation, whatever it is that you want to do. You can reach out to me. Okay, that's my shameless plug. It's in the description. Okay. The next thing is food. Food has gotten expensive. Now, I still know where to go to get the stuff that I want, but if you want to go to like the major stores like Serena or Jumbo or places where it's a big box, you're gonna pay. You're definitely gonna pay because a lot of the stuff is imported, And again, I know there's inflation, but some of the stuff, some of the things that they're charging for, to me, I just don't see it. And because I know what it was before, I don't I don't go there. I go to places like Jose Luis, or I go to the market, and then I'll go to Jumbo for stuff that I want specific. So I do shopping at different areas. Another thing that I find here is expensive, and I don't shop here for that, is clothes. We went down to the new mall in Santiago, and I felt like I was in a store in South Florida at the Aventura Mall, and I'm like, why? This is Zara, this is H&M. Why are these things so expensive? You know, I know those are brand names and they're brands that are coming, you know, setting up here from other countries, but I just wonder who their buyer is, who their target audience is, because the average Dominican makes $400 a month. So if you're if you're selling things so ridiculously expensive, I don't see how they're gonna afford it. But I don't know. I'm just saying. Another thing here, and everybody can agree with me here, that's super expensive is furniture. And the furniture that's made in DR is horrible. So I'm not putting DR furniture makers on blast, because there's some independent furniture makers that I've used that have been phenomenal. But the ones in the store, first they'll tell you don't sit. You want to sit on it, you want to sit to feel it. It says you can't sit. How am I going to try to know if it's comfortable? But I found one store, and I'm going to do a plug. It's in Santo Domingo. I think it's Santo Domingo. It's one of the best. I can't remember the name of the store off the top of my head right now, but it's about the best that I found. They have an outlet store, and they even have one in Punta Cana for furniture. So that's about it. You know, those three things. I mean, furniture, we searched high and low, high and low. We ended up ordering some stuff from a couch from Amazon. It's a futon. And there's another place that we go to here that I got 2 nice side tables. But as far as furniture, everything just looks blah. I love going to get pieces. I love that eclectic look. I'm looking for thrift stores because I love to buy and put things together and, you know, redo my DIY. Can't find that here. I have not found one thrift shop since I've been here. So those are the things I miss with the States. But again, you know, if you want to come, I would still recommend coming to Dominican Republic. I love it here. I know every time I go to the States, I'm like, it's time to leave, you know. So I would never say it's not a place to come to. I would never say you're still not going to get you will still get your money's worth. But I just want you to be aware of the changes and what, you know, what's happening over here. And yes, we still have our blackouts. We had a major one across the country 3 days ago. It was crazy. But of course, I had my inverter, so I was not in the dark. I was watching TV. Nothing changed for me. So again, if you're trying to come here, you want to come here, you want more information about coming to the Dominican Republic, whether it's you're retiring, whether you want a change, just a sabbatical, a long vacation, you're going to take some FMLA and you want to come over here and check it out, you know, and contact me. Links in the description. You can get, it's free. I will consult with you for 30 minutes for free, because some people are very long-winded and they'll keep you on the phone, and anything up to an hour, I'm going to start charging, okay? So get with me. I can be your guide. I am your guide. I've been here. I've been through it. I can tell you the horror stories. I can give you the good and the bad. And I can hold your hand, and I can guide you through the process. So that's it. Thanks if you stuck with me this far. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you feel that you've gotten some information of value, please don't forget to click that little notification bell so you can get some more, and subscribe. I'm not here for the clicks and views. I don't do clickbait. I just give real life and real life information living here in Puerto Plata in the beautiful Dominican Republic. And shout out to my Jamaicans. I know you're going through it. I am a Floridian of Jamaican descent. I've been through so many hurricanes, I cannot even tell you, but I'm accustomed to it. But I've never had the devastation that Jamaica, we had Andrew. It was like, it flattened Florida. But living in America, you get help right away. So anyway, like, share, tell a friend who will tell a friend, and I'll see you on the next video.